Well, it's not much of a record, I know that. So I probably won't be reflecting on that too much. Look, I'm obviously disappointed with the way this series has gone for us so far. I'm really disappointed in the way that this week's turned out for us after having such a good week last week. I think the really important thing we need to do is pay credit to England in the way they've played so far on the whole tour. Probably with the exclusion of the Perth Test, they've played a very high level of cricket right the way through not only this series but the tour games they've played as well. So you've got to give them credit for the way they've prepared and the way they've performed. And obviously, as a player in the series, I haven't achieved what I needed to achieve for the team to be a chance to win the Ashes back, which I'm very disappointed about. And I just think at the end of the day this week, I think all of our players can look back at this Test match as one that we can learn a bit from. You look at the way that they bowled day one. Yes, there was something in the wicket, and yes, it was a great toss to win for them, but it certainly wasn't a 98 all-out wicket. From that moment on, we've been behind in the game, and when they had their chance to bat, they showed us how to bat in Test match cricket. They did what they needed to do when it really mattered, and that's what we haven't been able to do for pretty much the majority of the series. So that's led, I guess, to the point where we're at now, where we can't win the Ashes. We can go to Sydney next week with the chance of being able to level the series and regain some pride in our team performance, and also give the fans around Australia something to be proud of as far as the Australian cricket team's concerned. So that'll be our whole focus from now until the end of that Sydney Test match. So they're the things that we've got to look forward to. As far as the first part of your question, I guess the fact that I've lost those three series is disappointing for me. Hopefully I'm not only remembered as that guy, the guy that lost those three Ashes series. There's lots of other great things I guess I've been lucky to be a part of as a player through my career. And I guess this result here is probably not one of my proudest. Whatever decision I make is going to be, it's really important it's for the betterment of Australian cricket. That's as much as I want it to be about. It's this. I want to keep playing. I would love to keep leading the team. I still think I've got a lot to offer in both those regards. But it's got to be for the betterment of Australian cricket. It's never been about me. It's always been about the team and what's right for the team. So that's exactly where I sit with it at the moment as well. Look, I guess there's been a few doubts creep into my mind over the last couple of weeks. There's no doubt about it. I'm not going to hide that. Always try and be honest and answering questions the way that I see things, and I think I definitely have to reevaluate where I'm at as far as a Test batsman's concerned. The plan, right from when I found out my finger was broken in Perth, the whole plan was to manage as well as I could this week. I've been able to do that. The plan was also to have an X-ray at the end of this game with Sydney in mind. I've gone and done those extra X-rays this morning. As this moment sits right now, I haven't had a chance to actually go and visit the specialist, which I need to do to go through those X-rays so he can, one, go through the X-rays with me, but two, have a look at my finger and see what movement and mobility I've got in and around the joint. So I need to do that this afternoon. And then the next part of the plan is to consult our medical staff overnight, basically, and find out what I'm going to be like for Sydney. It's a good question. I think that's one that the selectors are going to have to think long and hard about. If it happens to be someone from outside the team coming in to bat in that position, then they have to make sure they're ready for it. It's not an easy place to bat. We all know that. So yeah, it's something that I think they'll be talking long and hard about, this afternoon and for any selections going forward. But anything that I've seen of Usman has been I've been very impressed with what he's been able to do. His first-class record is very, very good. Technically, I think he looks as good as any of the young blokes that we've got around Australia, probably better than most of the young blokes we've got around Australia at the moment. So you need to have that really solid technique base if you want to stand up at number 3 at Test level. Yeah, he's obviously disappointed. Disappointed, albeit a little bit optimistic this morning. And I think he's actually having surgery as we speak. So it looks like it could be a few months. I had a chat to him about it this morning and said, looks like it's going to be hard for you to be right for the World Cup then, and he didn't rule that out. He's that sort of character where he's, as you saw the other day, if he's even got one leg to run on, he'll do it. But it's a massive blow for him, and it's a massive blow for our team as well, because he has been a great performer for us in every game that he's played, really, and he's a lion-hearted bloke that has got exceptional qualities to be a very, very good international bowler, as we've all seen over not just the last couple of weeks, but since he debuted in the one day team back a little while ago now. So yeah, it's a sad little period for him. We just wish him all the best and hope that he can recover in time to be included in that World Cup final 15. Well, you can probably imagine we weren't doing handstands, that's for sure. The game for us is something pretty amazing was going to have to happen today for us to be able to hang in there. We haven't been good enough. The guys are all very disappointed. It's such a huge series for all the players and I guess just the fans around the cricketing world as well. And we feel that we've let ourselves down, but we also feel that we've let the cricket public of Australia down as well. We've had great support in all the test matches that we've played so far. I'm sure we will have next week as well. And we know that we've let them down, and we have to give them something positive to look forward to as far as Australian cricket's concerned. I know we can do it. I've got no doubts that we can do it. I've got total confidence in this group of players to be able to bounce back and turn things around quickly. And if you look at three of the last four Ashes series anyway, teams have been able to turn things around really quickly. So that's a great challenge for us now, and I expect that we'll give it our best shot to be able to do that next week. To be totally honest, I've had majority of support over the last few weeks. If you turn out to training out in the nets and the Barmy guys are out there, it probably hasn't been that supportive of me the last few days. But no, in all honesty, I've received great support the last few weeks. Even I've had other international players the last couple of mornings send messages through to me about different things. So do I care about what the public thinks? Yeah, of course. We all do. We all care about what the public thinks, but quite often there's a perception out there that sometimes you can't change. And no matter what you do and how well you do things, sometimes you can't change things. And now I'm not saying I need to change things about how I'm perceived in the public, but I'm trying to do the right thing by my team and by Australian cricket. And I think that I've, right through my career, been able to do that most of the time. I haven't been able to do it the last few weeks, and for that I'm bitterly disappointed, and so is the rest of our group. But we will soldier on. We'll pack our bags up today. We'll head back to Sydney tomorrow, and we'll make sure that when our first training day comes around, that we'll be as well prepared as we possibly can be for the start of the next Test match. Nice. Well, it was only last week we're on top of the world. That's the thing. And we didn't do anything differently this week than we did last week. We just haven't played well. What are the reasons for that? Look, the toss had a bit to do with why we found ourselves in trouble day one, but they have just been better. We'll all learn from it. If you look at some of our shots day one as well, a lot of our batters aren't overly proud with the way we got out day one, and probably even in the second innings when the wicket probably wasn't, or the wicket was still good, the ball did reverse swing a little bit, but it didn't spin, and we've been bowled out pretty cheaply there as well. So I think we've learned a lot about how to play very good Test cricket from some of the cricket that the English team have played over the last few weeks. So if we can change anything, we can learn a bit from what they've done. We can employ it into our own games and make sure that when Sydney comes around, we're not taking any one ball delivery for granted. We have to make sure that we're 100% committed to every ball for those 5 days, and if we do that, I'm sure our skills will stack up pretty well against theirs.